The full moon in Leo is all about looking at the way in which you are meant to shine, right? It's about being able to see clearly, hence the full moon, being able to see clearly the ways you may have sabotaged yourself from showing up brightly, the fears, the trials, and tribulations that you may have had to overcome in order for you to allow yourself to be seen in your royal and regal nature. This is all about you allowing yourself to be who you are meant to be, who you were called to be, and while at the same time staying open to the growth, to the revelation, and to the improvement that that can come, that is necessary essentially in order for you to show up and shine in the best way that you're meant to. So that's what this full moon is all about. It's all about developing yourself into being that person who is not afraid to speak up, speak out, developing yourself and being the person who is going to show up in your purpose, show up in your power, and really reflecting on the work that needs to happen in order for you to do that. So let's get into this reading. Just wanted to give you a brief overview. Let's see collectively what we need to be. Okay, first card we got out is the Three of Wands. So what this is saying in conjunction with this Leo energy is that we got to stay true to our vision. For all of us, our higher selves has given us a vision of who and what we're meant to be and the life that we are meant to live. But a lot of times we are stuck between our old self and our new self. And that's because we're staying focused, or we're giving more attention and energy to the old reality, right? To the part of us that was afraid to speak up, that was afraid to speak out, that was afraid to be seen. Many of you who will see this video possibly were silenced as a kid, right? Or you just grew up watching people do one of the two things. One, either they would show up, they would be in that ferocious Leo energy and it wouldn't end well, right? Like someone would get mad or upset with them and be like, okay, who do you think you are? Nobody asked you for your opinion, right? And so you grew up seeing that. So you're like, okay, maybe I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. On the opposite side, some of you have seen people just not be able to speak authentically about how they think or how they feel unless they were in closed doors, right? When the doors are closed and there's nobody around, maybe your mother or your father, they would complain to you about something that they didn't like instead of addressing the person, place, or thing who actually caused them, the trouble. And so when you grow up seeing things like that, when you grow up seeing confrontation for being seen, for being outspoken, for being that regal royal person, a lot of times this can make some of you feel like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. There's a level of safety that comes from not being seen. But the issue right now is that a lot of you have a powerful purpose, a powerful vision, and some magic that you are meant to manifest for your own life and give back to the world around you. But if you're afraid of being seen, then you block yourself from doing that. And I'll tell you, not living in your purpose is more dangerous. Not living in your purpose is more dangerous than the thoughts, the opinions, and the judgments of others. That's a fact. That is a spiritual fact. It is more dangerous for you to not be who God, the Most High, the universe, spirit has called you to be. It is more dangerous for you to do that than it is for you to stand up to these people, speak the truth, speak truth to power. It's more dangerous to not fulfill your purpose. So this is something that you really want to sit with. This is something that you really want to make peace with. This is something that you really want to say, embrace the call. And a part of embracing the call is going to be walking away from what no longer serves you. Okay. A lot of times we're spending too much time, too much energy on what didn't work out, on what was lost, right? On the fear, instead of focusing on what the fear had, what the challenges has taught us, instead of focusing on the gifts of our adversity, instead of focusing on what we still have, which is our strength, which is our power, which is our purpose, which is our passion. So we got to let go of focusing on what you cannot control. You cannot control the opinions, the judgments, the criticism from other people. You can't control that. All you can control is your own inner world, your own inner resources, and you showing up as your best self. For many of you in this Leo full moon is calling you to really let those old emotions flow, let them go, because they're blocking your vision. So many times you're too connected to the emotions, you're too connected to how something feels, that you distract yourself from doing what it is you need to do to be who you were called to be, which is royal, which is regal, which is divine, which is powerful, right? Think about the Leo. They're the king, right, of the jungle, which is not an accurate statement, but that's kind of how we think of it. Like the lion is, royalty, regal. They're the leaders essentially. And so Leo, leader. And so, that's what we're being called to be. We're called to look at the ways in which we are not leading ourselves in the most powerful and prominent way. Some of you are going to have to get rid of distractions, because sometimes you're getting so caught up in the distraction that you are losing sight or losing focus on what's most important. All right. Wow. We got the law of cosmic creation. The law of cosmic creation. You know what I love about the lion reference is that lions are like, they are in their own world, their own reality. They hunt when they need to hunt. Let any other animal think they're going to run up in their spot and disrupt their cosmic creation. Honey, the tribe of lions, or what do they call it? The pride of lions, they not having that. So that's something that you want to know and understand. When you are creating your world, your reality from a place of sacredness, from a place of power, and from that divine space and place that your higher self has given you the vision of, best believe that you are supported and protected, right? Instead of having other lions or lioness, attack whatever is disrupting your vision, this is when your spirit team comes in. This is when your angels come in. This is when your spirit guides step in and support you on the path. So know that you are supported. All right. But at the same, and let me tell you, the way that they come through in support of you is not taking the distraction away, but they'll whisper something in your ear. You probably should be doing this. This is a distraction. This is taking away from your power. This is taking away from your purpose. This is draining your energy. So they'll say things like that to you, or they'll send somebody else to say things like that to you. Or if you're really not listening, that's when they will step in and take away the distraction for you. But ultimately, know that you are being supported in manifesting and living out this divine vision that has been given to you. Okay? You are a creator. Your thoughts will echo into eternity. Your thoughts will echo into eternity. Also, understand that, some of the thoughts, some of the distractions, some of the fears that you have of showing up, right? Some of the fears that have been sabotaging your progress, sabotaging your growth, they are not yours. They are not yours. They are indoctrinations. They are programs. They are systems. They are literally energies that are floating around in the astral that your mind has the perception of. Your mind can pick up on it and perceive it. So with that understanding, I want to challenge you to not give thoughts that are not in alignment with your vision. Don't give them so much energy. Don't give them so much fuel, because they too are distractions, right? They too are distractions. They too are just pulling you away from the vision that the divine has in store for you. The next card that came out is the law of time. The law of time. So what this is saying is that understand that a part of your spiritual power is being able to bend reality and bend your perception. So with this Leo energy, like I said, you have to look at the ways in which that you've blocked yourself from shining. You've blocked yourself from being seen. You've blocked yourself from being that sun being that you are, because we all have this in us. No matter what your Leo placement is, All of us are meant to shine in our own divine, sacred way. So if there was some childhood experiences, some teenage experiences, or some early adulthood experiences that made you feel like you could not shine, and you have just believed it and really like shaped your life around that, I want you to know that the law of time says that you can go back in time, bend that reality, shapeshift that perception, and show up better, right? You get to give new meaning to your past experiences, right? Some of you were rejected by parents. Some of you, you will be excited about some work that you did, like, oh, mom or dad, look at what I did, look at what I created. And because they didn't have the same energy, the same excitement that you had about what it is you created, this made you feel like your creativity, your creations, your power is not worthy of being seen. It's not worthy of being appreciated. Spirit is saying right now that you get to go back at that time and shapeshift that perspective, because your parents not being able to give you that attention, it wasn't that you or your creation wasn't worthy enough. They were too consumed thinking about how they got to pay the bills, how they got this going on or that going on. And so they didn't understand how precious those moments were to you. But you can go to the past and say, okay, this doesn't mean that I'm not worth it. This doesn't mean that I shouldn't shine my light, that I shouldn't be the bright divine self that I am, right? Because in that reality, you are essentially accepting rejection. And because of that fear of rejection, you block yourself from showing up in your power. So Spirit is saying, go back to any time in your life where you felt rejected. Go back to any time in your life where you felt abandoned. Go back to any time in your life where you felt like you were not being received for who you divinely are, and shift that perspective. Because guess what? You are a cosmic creator. So you get to say, you know what? Instead of it meaning I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I shouldn't be seen, and you further sabotaging yourself right now in this present moment, go back to those moments and say, that wasn't about me. I am worth it. I am deserving. I am worthy. I am valuable. I have something to offer. Okay. Also, I want you to understand that with this powerful Leo energy, you don't have to convince anybody of your royalty, of your regalness. The only person you have to convince is yourself. So you got to get into that vibration. Ask yourself, what does it feel like to be a queen or a king? What does it feel like to be royal? What does it feel like to be a leader of my own life and in my own world? And you get to live in that energy fiercely and without shame or without guilt. And understand that you being in that Leo nature, you being in that power, that strength, that leadership, that vulnerability. That vulnerability is also strength, hence the strength card in the tarot. But you get to understand that that energy causes healing and transformation. That energy just flows from the heart. I want y'all to think about any Leos that you know. The next card that came out is the Law of Power. The Law of Power. Wow. And then the funny part about this card is that it has some cats on it as well. So we're still in that Leo energy for the simple fact that there were some cats on that card. But Spirit is saying, remember the truth of who you are. And I don't know why, but I'm channeling the song from Toy Story. You got a friend in me. So random. One of y'all will let me know in the comments what that is about. But I will tell you, you know, some of y'all are afraid of living in your power because you're afraid of losing friends. You're afraid of losing family members. You're afraid that your relationships will change when you decide to be better, when you decide to be stronger. I want you to know you got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. But not only that, your higher self, your spirit team, your ancestors, your spirit guides, they are aligning you with the right people that support your power. Okay? Wow, what a gift that is to know that there are people who have been assigned to you, who support you, who uplift you, and who need you to live in your power and live in your purpose, right? There are people out there who need that from you. And so when you remember the truth of who you are, you're no longer afraid of losing people in your growth, losing people in your expansion, because here's the truth. The truth of the matter is that the people who are meant to go with you, they will rise up. They're going to come. They're going to figure it out. They're going to figure out how to remain in your life. And the people who are not, they're going to fall by the wayside. That doesn't mean that there's any love lost from you or from them. Energetically, you just understand that we're not on the same frequency anymore, and that is okay. And let me tell you something. The more you heal, the more you show up in your power, the more you can actually serve and support them. This is why when people make it big, right? Oh my God, I think about this in our lives. Like when we became entrepreneurs, right? Literally, that took a leap of faith, right? And I knew that I was going to lose some friends, specifically those work friends, right? The relationship would change because I'm not coming to this job anymore, even though I love y'all and y'all are cool and we've built a beautiful relationship. I know it's going to change because I'm no longer working here. But when I became an entrepreneur and really started pursuing that, it opened up other things where people started to ask me, like, how did you become an entrepreneur? How do you build a business? I became more resourceful to them as I've grown. Literally, when you are staying the same and you're afraid to shine, you're afraid to be your best self. Literally, what ends up happening is wow. What ends up happening is you can't really offer them anything. But the more you grow, the more you have to offer, whether that be financially, whether that be advice, whether that be relationships and connections. So understanding that your growth is impactful on them in a positive and beneficial way if they are ready and willing to receive that. But it is you are not meant to be the savior of everybody around you. You got to save yourself first. Like they say on the airplane, give yourself the mask, the oxygen mask, before you give it to somebody else. Because if you can't breathe, if you can't care for yourself, if you aren't healed and whole within yourself, then it's hard for you to support others. Now, let me add a clause into that. That is not to say that you can't be a healing vessel if things inside of you aren't completely healed. There's no such thing as being completely healed. For as long as you are in this physical form, there's always going to be more healing, more transformation that has to take place. But there are things in your life that you have conquered. There are things in your life that you've overcome. There are things in your life that you have a divine understanding on that you are meant to give back. But you got to get out of the fear of that. All right. An element came out, the air element came out, right? Now, this is so powerful because what this is saying is that you have to dive more into your heart chakra. With this Leo energy, we're being asked to be more open-hearted, more loving, more compassionate, more forgiving. All the Leos that I know, oh my God, they love so deeply. Matter of fact, my mom is a Leo, and she is the most loving person that I know. Her love is very deep. Now, Leo is a sun sign, which means that it's a fire sign. So this air sign coming out is powerful because air feeds fire. Do you understand? So the more you connect to your purpose and your power into your heart, right? The more passionate, the more fire, the more reach you have because your air element, your heart chakra is really open, is really invested in the work that you are doing. All right. So you have to tap into your self-love. You have to tap into the love of the divine. You have to tap into unconditional love so that you are no longer holding yourself back from being that royal, regal lion, lioness that you are meant to be. A mudra came out for us in this reading. It's the mudra of compassion, Karuna mudra. All right. And this mudra is again like the air element, is helping to open your heart. It's helping to create this balance and understanding. You have to open and heal your heart in order for you to fully embody this full moon Leo energy, because literally it's the heart that has been impacted that stops you from showing up as your true, as your authentic, as your powerful self. But when you get back into that heart and you have compassion for yourself and you have compassion for those people in your past who may have rejected you or abandoned you or made you feel like you couldn't show up powerfully, have compassion for yourself. Use this mudra. This is how it goes, right? You just kind of make that hand and put it into your hand, right? That's all it really is. But what that does is it really helps you to develop that compassion for self, adding that air element, opening up your heart and allowing you to just breathe and be. And then to be specific, it's the right hand that's made into a cup. The left hand fingers are coming together and they're touching like that. All right. Love it. All right. You all, this is the Leo full moon energy. Let me know in the comments how it's resonated with y'all. Peace and love.